what's your view on growth and inflation? It seems like the street in general right now is increasingly more concerned about inflation and ratcheting down growth expectations.
Yeah, I think that's definitely in line with what we're seeing as well. And even consumers are still more worried about inflation at this point than unemployment. So it's definitely, I think this idea that it was going to be transitory, we've kind of moved away from that, at least in certain parts of the economy for sure. And obviously what's going on with oil is pointing to that, but also even the labor market. So I do think, you're going to have to expect price increases to kind of stick around in certain sectors for a good period of time at this point.
What was the big jobs miss, the second in a row for you on Friday, a real disappointment, or do you expect these numbers just to be, moving in fits and starts and for that to be made up after kids go back to school and unemployment benefits fully run out?
Yeah, the information we're seeing, it's not surprising the fits and starts, right? Because you do have this, now we're open, now we're not, you made the point exactly right? Kids are not in school. We also see labor force participation is decreasing. More people now are just going into retirement. They were close, COVID's still a problem. This doesn't look like it's going away. So you have folks now, so the unemployment rate actually doesn't look as bad because labor force participation is actually down. So not surprising, I think, that we're going to continue to see that as we try to move out of this Delta variant issue and get over the COVID pandemic.
Danny Blanchflower was out with a paper last week saying that the drop that we've seen in consumer confidence indexes is a concern and may even signal that we're entering a recession right now. On the other hand, I spoke with Marcus Schomer, who's the chief economist at PineBridge Investments today, and he said, look, the difference this time is that there's so much savings out there and that this is a supply constraint problem and not a demand constraint problem. Do you see it the same way?
I think that's on target. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this, right? One of the things I would say, too, is productivity increases. We're starting to see some of that now. And after a year and a half of learning to work from home and having to become more productive and change processes, I think we're going to start to see productivity help us out a bit in terms of, stagflation concerns, right? So can we sort of grow through productivity increases? There are headwinds for sure. Supply shortages are going to continue to be a problem. I think the reopening trade, especially when you look at these issues now with energy, that's sort of the open question for markets, right? What does this reopening trade look like? My bet, and it's a bet, right, is that when we get past some of what's happening in Washington in the next couple of months and we get on the other side and head into spring, that things could look good. It's just that we have to get past some of the fits and starts to repeat what we said before.